Cut it.
Okay. Goodness gracious, you guys are champs for sticking in here. Take 3.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm. Jeez Louise.
We're gonna try to get through this.
We were just talking about how it's not. We are.
It's just me. It's just like you're here. We're not
It was like we heard all that shit you were talking about when we went
before.
to the meta.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I was talking so much shit about when they were meta. So sorry, just kidding. But
I hate that.
it's really again, like I said before, I don't.
We
get
can go
it.
so far into
Calypso
this,
said,
but
"Lord
let's
have
not.
mercy." Calypso, you're a real one.
Lord have
You're a real one for that.
Thank
That's
you,
exactly how I
Calypso,
feel.
for being our number one supporter.
Number one supporter. Who are we kidding? Calypso's just waiting for us to play Password.
Calypso, come over right now. Just
Calypso,
add
bro.
to this conversation.
Listen, you know what? Everyone's always welcome here. It's the thing. It's the thing. The House of Neptune, we kind of always leave the door open for friends and lovers, and et cetera, et cetera. Anywho's, so we were getting into hot topics, but take 3, y'all. We're just gonna get into this topic. Like we all want to know a little bit more about polyamory. I've invited Nate to join the conversation again. Although that might be what's making it wonky.
I think that might be, yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's why it's failing.
We love you.
Yeah, we do love you, Nate.
I think that might be what's doing it.
Yeah.
One big thing that I also did actually want to talk about before we get into the topic.
Sure.
The Theodore Roosevelt statue. Did you hear about that?
No.
The Theodore Roosevelt statue.
Where?
It's been in front of the New York, and it's been in front of the Museum of History in New York for over 80 years.
Yep.
The thing about it is, there we are. Hello, Johnny. You guys are cutting in and out. It seems to be a theme today, Ken. I don't know why it's doing that, but we're gonna keep pushing on until we can no longer push on. The theme that you guys are joining into, you guys are champs. Thank you for joining in again and again, and again for the 3rd time.
Welcome back.
But we're on the Wi-Fi now, so right. So we're on the Wi-Fi now, so perhaps the Wi-Fi will maintain us. Because before we were on 4G. But we were talking about Theodore Roosevelt statue being removed from the New York History Museum. Did you hear about that?
Why was it removed?
Yeah, it's been there for about almost over 80 years. It's being removed because next to the Theodore Roosevelt statue, where he was mounted on top of a horse. Oh, Brian's watching, aka Miss Bass. Best at snatching trophies, if I'm correct in that acronym. But thanks for watching, babe. But no, it depicted Theodore Roosevelt. I forget which president he was for us in the U.S. I forget. I'm so sorry. Someone let us know in the comments if you remember. He was on a horse and he had a black man.
I'll tell you right now.
Oh yes, we
I'm so bad. History is not my subject.
No, history is not my thing. My friend Dion Sage is a history buff. He used to teach it, so he's good on that. Yes, Nate. Yes, Nate. Dion is the history buff. But it was depicting him on a horse with a black man and a Native American man aside him on essentially on the ground.
He was the 26th president.
26.
1901 to 1909.
Word. So essentially, he was depicting what people during the height of this whole era that we have going now with human rights and Black Lives Matter. They said it was clearly depicting the hierarchy of race. I get it. I see that. Okay, with the two brown people on the floor next to him.
Oh, I know what statue you're talking about.
Well, yeah, it's a bronze statue.
I understand why people felt that statue is insensitive with today's current political climate for sure, and I can see why they decided to remove it. Anyway, when they remove it, they just put it in storage and
No, so actually, the rest of the tea on that one actually is they broke it up into pieces. So they're not going to.
They destroyed that.
Yes, they're not going to.
They're like, fuck that.
Nate, I'm actually surprised you haven't heard about this.
So the thing that's happening on my end right now is that I can only hear the second half, or I can only hear the lag part of what's being said.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Um, I, can you hear
So
us now?
here is what, and I don't know if I'm coming in clear with y'all. I don't know if you can hear me this,
We
that,
hear
and the
you
next.
perfect. We hear you perfectly fine, love.
Yeah. Yeah, it's working on there. Yeah, I think for some reason you're just not hearing us. And it could just be because you're connected to our feed. So for some reason you're not hearing us. Can you hear what
Can
I'm
you hear
saying
us now?
I can hear you, but you are frozen.
It's still lagging. Oh boy. Well, how about this? We're gonna do hot topics. We're gonna finish this off, and then call us back, and we'll get you for the topic, so we can get your
Mwah.
tidbits
Beautiful.
in there.
Let's
so
try
we can
that.
do less back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, work. Okay,
Yeah,
so we're gonna have
I think the video is
right. So we're gonna have Nate come back for our topic. But just to finish this off, the Theodore Roosevelt statue, it's going to be moved. It broke up into pieces so that they can no longer depict him on the horseback with the two gentlemen on the ground. It's just going to be him on the horse.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be they're moving it to a new presidential library in North Dakota.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what the intention of like the creator was when they were making that, but I definitely see how that statue is super insensitive to the current political climate. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing to move it and change it.
Yeah, no, I was like,
They're still putting it somewhere.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah. If you look at it, it's pretty questionable. It's pretty questionable.
Oh, okay, hold on. Looks like we're still having technical difficulties.
Are we?
Yeah.
Can no one hear us? Can you hear us?
I think they hear us, but it was cutting in and out. Are we good now?
Can you hear us?
Ken, and a double frame. That's because we had Nate on, Ken. But are we good now?
Yeah, are we fine now?
We're seeing.
Somebody tell us if we're good now.
We're seeing you folks coming in. We're seeing your comments. Can you hear us and see us? Is it still zigzags or is it lagging?
Zigzags.
I don't know. That's what Ken Medlin just said in the comments. He said we're seeing zigzags.
Get out of here.
So
that's how I prefer to look.
Is it? That's
I want to be a zigzag.
Your preferred look. You relate to zigzag.
Zigzag zag.
So is it clear now, Ken?
No, check the pic I sent on Messenger. But is it good now? Is it good now?
Yeah, like, cause hey Nate, okay, thanks for joining us again. So I'll give you the cue when we can come you back. But apparently we're having some sort of Nate. Are you seeing this clearly?
Oh, so it's good now.
Oh, okay, so it's good now. Okay, we're gonna move forward. Jeez, today has been a struggle boots. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's because we tried to. The audio is fine.
The frames are slow.
Oh, okay.
Goodness gracious, this is why we don't do.
Well,
that.
at least they can hear us.
You know what? Now I'm
They're
not
recording too. People can rewatch it.
Now, yeah, this is now I rescind and also put back out the shit that I was talking about Facebook. Because like what the
I know, I'm like metaverse, you can't even get a fucking live feed.
You can't even get a
what is
like
going
what
on?
is a metaverse? Are you kidding? Well, let's keep going.
Just
So
get to that.
get to this topic
Yeah.
today, guys. We're talking about polyamory. We're gonna get polyamory explained. It is because it's cold. Weather is 1 degree.
Okay, true. It's fucking rigid.
It is real cold, y'all.
I showed up in a light jacket though, and this one was like,
I did.
you need to put on a bigger jacket.
Yeah, I was like, what do you think you're doing with this baby coat on? It's too cold for that. I don't understand. But I'm a
This little
dad.
jacket looks cute.
It does look cute, but I'm a dad at heart, and I know it. So I was like, all right, well, do what you want, but I'm going to tell you what I think you should do. But yeah, we're going to talk about polyamory. We're going to get into it. We're going to explain that.
Ooh,
Hopefully you guys can hear us.
not this topic.
I know, it's a little sussy. But, you know, polyamory, polyamorous relationship is also referred to as, like I like to say, a non-monogamous relationship. I think that describes it a little bit better. It's a little bit more like, kind of like in your face.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that a little bit, like when it comes to my relationship, because you can have something that kind of works similar to monogamy within a polyamorous relationship. Like I'm in a throuple that's basically a
Yeah, you spilled
closed.
that tea way early. You were like, "Oh, I'm actually in a polyamorous relationship." I'm like, "No, wait!"
I'm sorry.
Ken said it's clear now. Okay, great, awesome, love
Awesome,
that,
cool.
love that, because I was wondering what was going on
Yeah.
there. It was quite awful. But continue.
I think there are many different forms of polyamorous relationships, and the one that I'm in is I met a married couple, and I, they were just looking to kind of meet a friend, maybe an outside sexual partner together, and it ended up forming into a relationship just because I fit into the dynamic really well. And the way it works now is kind of like I'm a boyfriend and we are kind of closed. We're open.
Okay.
We're open to having a fourth.
So it's evolved into something more than just a non-monogamous relationship, is what you're saying.
For sure. And obviously it's not monogamy. Monogamy is a closed relationship between two people. It's three people. But the way it works is very similar to the average monogamous closed relationship, really.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, and the definition of polyamory from Jubal. This was the one part that I
think I looked that up. I had briefly just to look at it.
Oh, yeah. and just for the viewers, Neight Banks is saying that they will join us another time. We're looking forward to that time.
Yeah.
Really gonna miss you today.
Yeah.
But they have bad Wi-Fi in their apartment and doesn't want to take up too much more time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So let's everyone we love Nate. Let's everyone send Nate some love. But thank you for joining me today, Nate. I love you, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, the definition of polyamory by Jubal standard is the practice. I like to say things wrong. It is the practice of or desire for an intimate relationship with more than one partner with, and here's the T, consent of all partners involved.
Yeah. So the reason why I feel like this works for us is we all have our separate relationships with each other, like a triangle.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
like, it's three of us. So I have they're both named Eric. It just so happens. So I have the Eric.
How did that?
I don't know. Imagine if my name was Eric. That would be
I would be very upset with you.
But yeah, I mean, I have my separate relationships with them, but we also have our relationships like as a whole.
Okay.
And I feel like our relationships with each other separately is a little bit different than when we're all together.
Okay.
And we all kind of contribute something that's like a little bit different to the relationship.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things that's the best thing about being in a polyamorous relationship. Speaking as someone who's not in one, and unfortunately, I have actually never been in one. I've been in a somewhat open relationship before. I've done that because that was interesting, and I needed to explore that option. But I've never been in a polyamorous relationship, and just learning a little bit about it has also opened my eyes to like the possibilities of a polyamorous relationship, but also, again, normalizing something that's been around forever, so to speak.
Yeah, I think with mine, mine is a good example of how a polyamorous relationship could be very similar to what you see in like normal quote unquote society where there's a monogamous relationship, they're together with each other, they make every decision together. It's like really no different than that at all. It's just that there's three of us.
I think it's just again just normalizing it to within ourselves because it's been around forever since biblical times even. And I actually, like I told you earlier, I toiled back and forth with it a little bit with my my fellow Christians about the difference between polyamory and polygamy, which is marrying multiple people. But that's also, I think, something that is one of those dated things that we come across in the Bible. My ministry, Powerhouse Ministries, we are queer affirming, and I think there should be more ministries that way, because God knew love. God invited us all to be a part of God's love. not if you're queer, I can't love you. You know, that was never a thing. That was us inputting that. So I really toiled back and forth with that with the polygamy thing, but it is in fact actually not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So people who quote the Bible on that one actually don't really.
Unfortunately, I think that there are cis straight men out there that like totally abuse polygamy and use it as a way to kind of abuse women.
Wait. Ken said you can't go wrong when you're screaming the same name.
I'm dead.
Ken, you're ridiculous for that one.
Well, the way that I say it, they know which Eric that I'm talking about now. That's how it is.
That's how you know you're in love.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah. But continue. Sorry, I had to read that.
With polygamy, so here's the thing. I would love for there to be a day where you know, I'm in a relationship that I feel is just as valid as me being with one other person, and it would be amazing for like a throuple to all reap the benefits of being in a marriage, like all together.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, there are people out there. There's straight men out there with like 10 wives who totally abuse this polygamy idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's not real polyamory, though.
That is in fact not real polyamory because, like we mentioned earlier, it's with consent of all partners.
Yeah,
that's a really big.
They might consent to it, but it's like
most of the time they don't.
It's used as a way to kind of control.
Yes, control.
Yeah,
and that's a really big thing to note. Also, you know, a lot of times, like we were talking about in Hot Topics, people like to discard or disregard literature that teaches us about these things. And there's been a lot of polyamorous literature out there that people can read. Have you seen any of it?
No, but I think like you were just talking about previously, it does go back to like religion having an effect on our society, and marriage has always been thought about as like as between two people and not multiple people, and it kind of reminds me, I mean, not to compare, but like it sort of reminds me of the fight for like gay marriage. It's like there are many different types and forms of relationships, and I know that like there's a lot of people out there too that have a hard time believing that like a throuple is something that could work and be as strong as like a couple. But there are cases
that is very true.
Yeah, but there are cases where it exists, and I feel like I'm a part of that right now, where it feels just like any other relationship. It's the same thing.
And it is. It honestly feels that way. But a lot, like if you were looking for polyamorous literature, I would suggest there's one that's very popular that's called More Than Two, which is one that I thought was kind of comical. And another one that like kind of it's kind of funny to me. It's called The Ethical Slut. So
I mean, I kind of love that because that kind of sounds like me.
So yeah, if you wanna read up on two really good, lighthearted, polyamorous, and informative literature.
The ethical slut. That's like the definition of my life.
And there's a lot of movies too that depict polyamorous relationships too, actually, and that kind of was shocking to me too. I was surprised to see that the first time I saw it, and it's been repeated in a couple of different films. But we're talking about The Ethical Slut, and one of the questions that in that book is, do you think there is a moral piece to polyamory?
I think more and more people are accepting the idea that monogamy is not necessarily like natural for a lot of human beings, like instinctually. So polyamory, especially for a person like me who is very kind of, I like monogamy for other people, but for me, monogamy is not something that really works for me. But if I'm in a relationship with two different people, that's kind of the solution to that for me. And I think that could be the solution for a lot of other people too.
You're like, that's cute for you.
Yeah.
However,
I mean, there are many cases where monogamy works for other people.
Absolutely.
For for sure. And there's some really strong, amazing monogamous relationships, but that was not something that works for me and who I am.
And I'm not putting anyone out there, but I would love to hear about you guys. If anyone out there is in a polyamorous relationship, a healthy polyamorous relationship, and want to share their love story, their love connection, I would love to hear about that. Comments.
Yeah.
If you're watching back later this week, also like feel free to share. That would be really. I think that'd be really nice. That'd be really cute. And I would, if you want to get your story out there, sure.
Yeah, because like I was talking about before, there's so many different forms of polyamorous relationships.
Oh yeah.
And mine is just one example of many.
Oh my God! So there was this movie also, Paint Your Wagon, in 1969. 1969. That's how long it's been being portrayed, polyamorous relationships. And it's called. It was starring Clint Eastwood. It was a Western musical.
I'm gonna have to go.
It was starring Clint Eastwood, but you sparked that memory when you said there are different types, in which there are. There are 3 dominant types of polyamorous relationships that I can recall.
Okay,
but
what are those?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'm curious now.
Right?
Like I haven't researched this
like
much.
dominant. Oh yes.
Oh,
I read just a little bit.
She did a whole like fucking college assignment.
I do. Whenever I get ready for a show, I go in just a little bit, and just enough to say that I went in. Just enough. Do you see this book? Look at this.
I'm
ridiculous.
like reading it as you're reading it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Ridiculous. But yeah, this movie portrayed 2 gentlemen who decided that they were betrothed to the same woman, and so they essentially shared her without feeling the need to interact with each other, which I thought was very interesting. I'm like, oh, so that makes them queer in a sense. But in that movie, they didn't interact with each other at all.
Yeah.
They essentially just shared the same wife with consent.
Yeah, that's like an MMF.
Yeah. Oh, stop. You after that picture you showed me earlier, just everything.
What, the potato?
Yeah, the fucking potato.
Why would that apply to MMF?
I'm hungry and
I kind of love potatoes.
yeah. But yeah, no, that was really interesting to me. This movie, Paint Your Wagon, that they just
polyamory is not new. Like whatsoever.
It's not new. It's not a trend.
I mean, especially because like cavemen, they probably just had like many women or whatever.
Okay, so that also leads into my next question. Then, so how do you think polyamorous relationships are portrayed in the public eye and in media? Do you think it's portrayed in a
starting
good sense?
to be, and I was actually just going to mention this, so I'm glad you brought this question up. There's like an episode of House Hunters where there was a throuple that was looking to buy a house, and it was a married cis man and cis woman who met a girlfriend.
Oh.
And now they're a throuple and they're raising their child all together and buying houses together, and so
the fact that you're watching this show gives me everything I need to know.
I love HCTV.
Gives me everything I need to know.
I mean, but I think a lot of people think of polyamory as like a fetish, like it's like I don't like.
I feel like people think of it as a passing trend or
right, but it happens, I think, a lot more often than people think. And not just in queer culture and straight culture too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like everywhere, and it's actually legal for multiple people to get married in certain countries too.
Oh yes, and I actually that's one thing that I wasn't unsure about in my research. If it is actually legal for a polyamorous relationship to become a married polyamorous relationship.
Not here. Unfortunately, but I think if it's talked about more and it becomes more visible in pop culture.
Ken Medlin says, what's the difference between a polyamorous and a triad relationship, which was portrayed in one of my favorite movies with Salma Hayek, Savages.
So what would you say a triad relationship is?
I would say it's 3 people.
Just like a throuple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing. That's like a form of polyamory, just like we were talking about a little bit earlier. There's many different forms of polyamory, and a throuple is one of them. And I think that's the one you'll see like probably most commonly. Yeah.
That's more so what they were portraying in that movie, Paint Your Wagon, as well.
Yeah.
It's more of a throuple sense, but like again, the two men didn't interact with each other in a sexual sense at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that can happen as well. There could be like one central person that two people are in a relationship with. That's not me though. Mine is I met a married couple who have an established relationship. They've been together for 10 years and they've been married for 5. And I made a relationship with each one of them separately and also together. And
so we just went through all 3 of the different types of poly
Did they?
relationships.
Did
Yes.
they?
I don't remember the names, and I was so tempted to Google it just now, but I'm not going to do that. Lisa, thanks for watching. I see your name popping up there. Steve, thanks for watching as well. You guys are troopers tonight. Thanks for keeping up with us. But yeah, there are a lot of different types of it, and I can't remember those 3 names. But if you guys know, let me know in the comments. Like portrayed as a triangle, as a diagram.
Yeah.
And so they talk about the 3 different types, and we literally just went through them.
Oh, okay.
That's insane.
Good.
But something that I found really interesting before we get into our games, I think it's almost time for the game.
Oh my god, a game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another thing that I found interesting, a little tidbit, a little stat, because we like to go into our stats here and see with Taylor, is that poly relationships constitute for 4 to 5% of people in the U.S.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
it's a lot more common than people think.
A lot more common than I had originally thought myself, even. And that means that's equivalent to 17.5 million people who are saying that they have been or are currently in a polyamorous relationship. So, yeah, big news. It's not a fad.
Yeah. I especially feel like the one that I'm in is kind of a common one. It's like it's a married couple who brings a third person in, and they end up becoming a romantic partner.
Yeah, it seems like that's the most. And don't hang me on the cross for this, but I feel like that's the most rational way.
It is. It's the most common because it's probably the easiest way for it to happen.
It seems like that's the most plausible way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, work. That makes sense.
I think it's a little bit harder when you're just like boyfriends or girlfriends to bring a third person in because there's nothing really holding you in either. So it can cause issues. But the people that I met have had a relationship for 10 years and have been married for 5, so they have a very established.
Yes, exactly.
It's like a very strong
so
foundation.
that plays a really big part in it. I think trust for sure.
Yeah.
And having that foundation.
I think the fact that they had such a strong relationship with me going into it is what made it super successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm speaking from the outside looking in. I never, fortunately, have not been in that situation. So. I think that again, and like you started to talk about earlier, that each person has something that brings a different dimension to that relationship.
Yeah, we all have things in common to the extreme. Like we just work really well together, but also we have these outside interests that we contribute that none of the other people have. So we all contribute something that's a little bit different.
Yeah, and that is something that I think can kill the stigma that's behind polyamorous relationships, is just realizing that it's just a melding of the minds just as well as, again, normalizing.
It's just as equal as like a monogamous.
Yeah, normalizing a monogamous relationship it's the same. It really does strike so much interest. So yeah, let me know, guys. No, I'm just kidding. No, I honestly thought about it, and I was like, I really would love a male-female like polyamorous relationship, to be honest, because I would get all the things that I would like from both and just be so pleased. But whatever. What's fine.
They're out
it's
there.
We'll
I
see.
mean,
we'll
there's many.
I'm also very traditional. I'm also
for.
very traditional in a lot of senses of the way. So I think I might also, I don't know, Mr. Right, if you're out there, I don't think I'm counting you out, or Miss Right, I'm not counting you out. But
well, I will say one of the issues. I know what you're saying, because one of the things I had a hard time with when I first started this relationship with 2 people is I want to get married someday. Like I kind of want that.
That's one
that
of the
moment.
reasons I was so concerned with.
But you know what? at the end of the day, you might not be able to legally be married to those two other people at the same time, but you could still have a ceremony of
That's why I wondered about the
commitment
legality
ceremony.
of it all, because it
Yeah.
seems like it would be something that would easily be able to say, hey, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
But
It's
not
definitely
so.
it's never easy for most people to give
True.
up a
Very
social
true.
norm. You know,
Very true.
everyone wants to find the perfect person, get married, buy a house together.
Very true.
And I met this couple who already has all of that, and it's you have to like question like, am I gonna give up all of that stuff? Well, I'm not really giving it up. There's like ways around it. It's fine. And I love these people,
Ken
so
says,
I'm gonna make it work.
Ken says, Marianne, why not break the norm? Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if anything, this relationship helped me realize that I don't know what I want. What I found is working really well for me. Yeah. I don't need to you know, sabotage this relationship just because I think I need a certain thing to like conform to a social norm of like marriage and finding one person or whatever. Like,
and you're allowed to still want for that.
Right.
You're still allowed to still want for that.
Of course. And like I said, there's ways around it. Like I can have if we ever wanted to, we could have like a commitment ceremony where, you know, I could still have a ring. We've talked about a ring before. And
I'm gonna have to make room.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah, so we've talked about a ring before. We've talked about commitment like that before. So it's really not any different. It's just that we can't legally get married.
Yeah, that's literally one of the main things I was worried about, the legality of it. I'm like, before we talk about this on Friday, let me look that up. Hold on one second.
Yeah. You can buy a house together, you can get a loan together.
That's true. I saw that. And most and other places outside of the U.S. it is also legal. But
yeah.
Just not.
Yeah, we could go to another country and get a certificate if we wanted to.
You could. We talked about plastic surgery last week, and people will go out of the country for that.
Oh, girl, I would do that.
No, God, I would. That's amphetamine coming in, y'all. Zach has left the building.
Sorry, I just would. It's cheaper.
Well,
it's, like easier. I could get in quicker. I don't know.
These are all the things I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty scary. But you know, before we go, guys, I think we're gonna give you back your Friday night from this point on. Before we go, we're gonna play a game. I'm watching the comments. Don't worry, Calypso. I'm watching the comments. We're gonna play Password. It's one of my favorite games. And
I don't think I've ever played that.
Are you kidding me?
I've never played this.
What?
I've never played
You're a polyamorous relationship in Rhode
Island?
And you've never played Password? No,
I'm just gonna say that from now on. I'm in a polyamorous relationship
in
Rhode Island
and have never played Password. Yes, that part. So hopefully this one is clear. I don't know if our broadcast has been clear, but you guys have a chance for watching. Thank you so much for keeping up. We'll just figure this out, virtual guest, very soon because Facebook is effing up today. But anyways, I don't want you to see my book because all the answers are in here. But we're gonna play Password, and basically what Password is, if you guys haven't played it before,
I
give you a clue to a word. And I'm going to give you up to 3 clues on what this word may be.
Oh, girl, I'm going to suck at this.
And you have to then tell me what that word is.
Oh,
and that word is essentially the password.
Okay, go ahead.
Gotcha. All right, are we ready? Oh, DJ Ephraim, thanks for watching. DJ Ephraim is also going to be one of our friends here on Tea with Taylor. One of our new friends. Yeah.
Ooh, new.
So, yeah.
I'm a new friend,
I'm excited to introduce DJ Ephraim to my viewers and vice versa. So, we'll get to that. But the first word, and these are all queer-related words, just so you know. Yes. I figured I'd give it a category. I love categories.
I like a category.
Oh no, I forgot I had a lip on today, and I just touched my mouth.
See?
Bad.
You don't deserve.
Terrible. I don't. Red letter, yellow letter. Okay, first word is I was gonna the clue that I was gonna give you, I hesitated Because
you fucking wrote it down yourself. You should already have the clues.
I do, but I hesitated actually. Jackie, you're gonna love this one. Jackie Nielsen, if you know Jackie.
I know Jackie.
That's a hint right there.
I mean, I just Jackie.
Blonde queer icon.
Blonde queer icon. Oh God, I'm gonna suck at this if this has to be like guessing like famous people's names. First of all, I am the worst person with names.
Wow! Calypso just said it. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look.
Lady Gaga. She's not always blonde.
It is Lady Gaga.
She's not always blonde.
Thank you.
Okay, Calypso gets it, but like
Calypso gets it right away. Like, hello. I was gonna say poker face. That would have been too easy, so I didn't say that one first.
I mean,
so
okay, but she's not always blonde either.
This is true. And DJ Abram said Britney, Madonna.
Yeah, it could have been anyone.
But DJ Abram also said Britney, Madonna, and Gaga. So he would have got it right.
Okay, whatever. Keep going. I already told you I said it.
Okay, another queer-related word. Another queer-related word.
How is that a queer? That's a name, not even a word.
Well, it's a word. Calypso says I win. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Calypso does win this whole night.
This whole night. Calypso's a champ. So you ready?
Yeah.
This one is a gathering of queer folk.
A gaggle.
I want to say a hit single. This word was a part of the title.
What? A gathering of queer folks that's part of a hit single?
Uh-huh.
Keep going.
Oh! No, yes, DJ Ephraim just got it. And so did Calypso. You're cheating.
Girl, I'm not really.
It was,
I hate to.
It is the equivalent of a T-dance.
I'm like barely a gay. I might as well be like a straight guy who does drag.
We love that.
Yeah.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of a T-dance. That's the third clue. The third and final clue.
But I also love like.
When I say it, you're gonna know.
People ever.
Oh, absolutely. We love it. When I say it, you're gonna know though. Okay. It's a kiki.
Oh.
Yeah.
Someone said tea dance. I'm like, girl.
Yeah, they all said let's have a kiki. I'm like, don't read it. You can't see.
Wait, a kiki? I guess.
I don't
know.
DJ Ever said, when was the book made? I'm doing old school and new school though. I mean, you are.
Is a kiki specifically gay?
It's seen as a queer gathering. It's not.
So I guess I am gay. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're figuring things out today.
I just thought kiki was like just the word you use if you're gathering with anybody. Like,
no, that's what you do with a girl.
I know what
the GURZ girls. Yeah. I don't actually. Oh yes, yes I do. Goodness gracious.
It's when two drag queens.
Yes. Okay, so this one, two of the clues are about me. So hopefully you get this word.
They're about you.
Essentially, it's a.
I'm not gonna get it.
I recently came out as this.
Oh, I don't know.
I
don't know.
It is one of the oldest.
I'm a new friend.
It's one of the oldest titles in queer culture, but seen as
bisexual.
New. Close. Let's see. Did anyone guess it yet? No. It is.
Give me another hint. It's one of the oldest.
It's one of the oldest titles in the queer community, but it's been seen as a new thing as of recent. This community. Yes. Ding ding ding. It's pansexual.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Love that.
Hey, I got that
word.
one.
DJ Ephraim said queer, but no.
I was thinking queer, but that's not an old term.
Yeah.
That's pretty new.
It's pretty old, actually.
It's old, but I feel like pansexual has been around for like a very long time.
Okay, so the next one is real easy. So let's see who gets this one. The second to last one. So you have to redeem yourself on this one. Colors.
Colors?
Colors.
Ooh, colors.
Colors.
Colors?
That's the first clue. Colors.
Pride.
Nope. Roy G. Biv.
Roy G. Biv? What is that from?
Yes. Wait, what? Oh, I was thinking slur turned positive. Oh, actually, yeah, that it could, yeah.
What?
DJ Abrams has a point. The word queer being a slur turned into a positive term.
Well, I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
Yeah, no, queer started as a negative term.
Two people have already guessed this word, by the way, in the comments. I can't.
Rainbow.
Yes,
I mean,
rainbow.
I said pride. Close enough.
Close, but no cigar. Come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Lord Jesus, Zach. All right, last word.
I'm
This
ready.
one I just threw in here basically just for Calypso. I mean,
Oh my god, then she better get it, or she's canceled.
her nickname. First of all, she's a pop artist.
Okay, I'm not gonna get it.
or R&B artist, both. She's transcendent.
Okay, go ahead.
Her nickname is one letter.
It's one letter?
Her
Beyonce?
yeah. I didn't even have to say any more. I was gonna say her family as well. No, there was gonna be so many more. The Beehive.
Hey, see, I got
my
that.
God. Oh, DJ Ephraim. Okay, but I don't know if Janet Jackson has a nickname that's one letter.
Jay? Would she be gay?
Do people call Janet Jackson Jay?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, but Calypso had it, of course. Calypso said Beyonce.
Yeah.
As you should. That one was just in there because, like, I said Gaga, so I had to say Beyonce. Did you ever say y'all trying it?
Literally.
No, like literally, we tried it like hard. But that's that for today for the tea guys. Left is the hive. Yes, Calypso.
She was the.
Oh, of course. Of course. There, the House of Brown readily prepares a Beyonce number for the kids. It's always good. So I'm here for it. I'm living.
I won't ever do it, but I live for any queen who does.
No, I will no longer attempt a Beyonce number. My very first drag performance was a Beyonce number, and no, let's just say no. We've grown from that. But before we go, I want to give you some time to promote anything that you have coming up, or just what you want to leave the viewers with tonight.
I'll be out in drag tomorrow for the first time in 3 years, which is a very long time. I will be at Stable in Providence for Hollow Eve is coming from Dragula, and I will be at Ego after that. And then next Saturday, I will be at Ego for Alyssa Hunter, so you can catch me there both nights.
Okay, word. Well, you heard it here first, folks. So if you're local, come check us out. We're gonna be hanging out for a little bit and having some fun, and you get to meet Miss Amphetamine if you're lucky.
Out of drag.
Oh my goodness.
Never again. I actually almost considered like getting in drag for this, but I was like, nah.
That would have been a
But
gag.
I'll do that sometime.
That would've been
for another topic.
Yeah.
We should do a drag topic.
Oh, I did one last season with the Browns actually. With
did you?
Calypso and Pariva joined me for.
We could do.
Yeah.
We could do another topic that's related to drag.
We could always make room for more.
And invite
drag
Calypso
topics.
so that
We can always make room for more drag
Wait,
topics.
but we need Calypso as a viewer.
Calypso, yeah, we need
She
Calypso
could be here and a viewer.
and a viewer at the same damn time because that's what the House of Browns is all about. No, but I love you guys and thank you so much for joining me. Before we go, I want to say, of course, as always, make sure you're being good to yourselves. You guys are troopers for watching. Thank you for sticking with us through all the technical difficulties. Yeah, we gonna do it and keep being good to yourselves again. Keep looking inward. And y'all enjoy the rest of your Friday night. We are going to continue this conversation behind the scenes, y'all.
Yeah.
So later, and I will see you all next Friday. I hope. Zach,
You will. You'll see them
all of the time.
They better
Zach,
show up.
let's go refresh our Drank and Kiki a little bit. Since you didn't know what that was.
song.
Since you didn't know what it was. Good day, everyone.